A man can be surrounded by beauty every single day, but beauty alone is not what will make him choose one woman above all others. Physical attraction might get his attention for a moment, but it's the emotional connection that holds him in place. This is where the difference is made, when a woman makes him feel something that no one else does. When she listens in a way that makes him feel truly heard, when her eyes light up not just because of what he looks like, but because of who he is, he starts to feel safe in her presence. She becomes a place where he can exhale, where he doesn't have to perform or pretend. That comfort and emotional depth sink into his heart far deeper than the thrill of a passing attraction ever could. What most people don't realize is that emotional connection is not about grand gestures or dramatic words. It's built in the smallest, most consistent moments. It's in the way she remembers something he mentioned weeks ago and brings it up to show she was paying attention. It's in the way she asks about his day and actually waits for the real answer, not the polite one. These moments might seem subtle, but to a man who often walks through life feeling like nobody truly sees him, they are everything. Suddenly, she is not just someone he's dating. She is the person he feels the most himself around. That feeling is rare, and when he finds it, it becomes priceless. Men may notice many women in passing, but they don't choose a woman because she's impressive in the eyes of the world. They choose the one who impresses their soul. That's the woman who makes them feel understood without needing to explain every detail. It's the woman who can look at him when he's quiet and know there's something on his mind, and instead of forcing it out, she simply creates the space for him to share when he's ready. This level of understanding builds a bond that looks invisible to others, but between them, it's unshakable. He can go anywhere, meet anyone, and still come back to her because she is the place where he feels most at peace. In a world where many women might try to win a man's attention through appearance, charm, or competition, the woman he chooses is the one who doesn't need to prove herself. She is secure enough to know her value isn't in how much she can entertain him, or in how many others might want her. Her strength is in the fact that she can connect to him at the level of his fears, his dreams, and his truth. This isn't about making everything easy for him. It's about making him feel that even when life is hard, she is someone who understands the weight he carries. And that understanding is something he can't just walk away from without feeling its absence every single day. There's a quiet magic in being with someone who listens without rushing to fix, who encourages without pushing, and who sees beyond the mask. Men, just like women, carry insecurities and doubts they don't always share. But when a woman creates a safe space for those truths to exist, he feels more connected to her than he does to anyone else. She becomes his safe harbor in a storm, the person who doesn't judge him when he's weak and doesn't shrink when he's strong. In that space, love grows not out of neediness, but out of mutual respect and deep emotional resonance. That emotional connection is powerful because it's not replaceable. He can find someone else who's beautiful, someone else who's fun, someone else who shares some of his interests, but he cannot find another person who makes him feel the exact way she does. It's the difference between finding someone who checks boxes and finding someone who feels like home. And once a man has experienced that feeling of home, the idea of losing it becomes unbearable. This is why men often say they just knew. When they met the right woman, it's because they felt something they couldn't explain, but never wanted to let go of. The truth is, emotional connection takes courage. It means she allows herself to be vulnerable too. She doesn't just demand openness from him. She shows it through her own willingness to share her thoughts, fears, and dreams. This two-way exchange builds trust, and trust is the foundation of lasting attraction. When he sees that she trusts him enough to show her authentic self, he's inspired to do the same. That authenticity is magnetic because it's so rare in a world full of masks and performances. And that's when he realizes she's not just someone he likes. She's someone he needs in his life. This choice a man makes, to commit to one woman and ignore the rest, is not a decision made with logic alone. It's not about listing pros and cons or making a calculated move. It's about an unshakable pull toward the person who makes him feel more alive, more understood, and more whole. He can admire others from a distance, but he invests himself in the one who makes him feel like the best version of himself. It's not because she's perfect. It's because she's real. and because she sees him in a way no one else does. A man might date casually with several women, but when he finds emotional connection with one, the rest fade into the background. The texts from other people don't excite him anymore. The attention from strangers doesn't tempt him. His focus sharpens and his energy turns toward nurturing and protecting the bond he has found. That's the woman he'll show up for, the one he'll plan a future with, and the one whose absence would leave him feeling lost. This is why beauty catches his eye, but connection captures his heart. And when you understand that, you stop competing for a man's attention in the wrong ways. You realize the real power isn't in trying to be more beautiful than someone else or more exciting than the next woman. It's in creating a depth of connection that makes him feel something no one else can replicate. That's when he stops looking, stops wandering, and starts choosing you. Over and over again, without hesitation, a man is drawn to a woman who is not afraid to walk away when she is not being valued. There is something magnetic about a person who knows her worth and refuses to settle for less than she deserves. It's not about arrogance or playing games. It's about quiet, unshakable self-respect. When she is willing to let go of someone who isn't showing up for her, she sends a powerful message without needing to say a word. That message is simple. I don't need you to complete me. I am already whole. This kind of confidence creates an energy that is both alluring and intimidating, because it tells a man she will not tolerate anything less than sincerity and effort. The willingness to walk away is not a threat. It's a boundary. A man can sense when a woman is holding on to him out of fear rather than choice, and that fear weakens the connection. But when a woman stays because she wants to, not because she's afraid to be alone, he feels the difference. It shifts the balance of power in the best way, not in a controlling sense, but in a way that keeps both people accountable for showing up as their best selves. This is why the women who are willing to leave if they are not being treated right often end up being the ones men fight to keep. They are not clinging, they are choosing. And that choice makes their love far more valuable. Confidence like this doesn't come from pretending not to care. It comes from genuinely knowing that her happiness does not depend on any one person. She has a life outside the relationship, her own passions, friendships, and goals that give her fulfillment. This independence makes her presence in a man's life feel like a privilege, not a possession. He understands that if he takes her for granted, she will not stick around waiting for him to change. That fear of losing her is not born from insecurity. It's born from the realization that she is rare, and losing her would mean losing something truly irreplaceable. When a woman has the confidence to walk away, it changes the dynamic of attraction. Many people think men want someone who will never leave their side no matter what they do. But the truth is, men respect women who have standards. Those standards are not meant to push him away. They are meant to protect her from being in a relationship that diminishes her. The man who truly values her will rise to meet those standards instead of running from them. In doing so, he becomes more invested in the relationship because he knows she won't allow it to drift into mediocrity. This kind of strength doesn't mean she's cold or unfeeling. In fact, it comes from a place of deep self-love and emotional maturity. She's not quick to cut people off over small disagreements or imperfections. She's patient and understanding. But when patterns of neglect, disrespect, or inconsistency appear, she doesn't turn a blind eye. She addresses the issue with honesty and clarity, giving the other person the chance to step up. If they don't, she is prepared to move on without resentment. That emotional composure is incredibly attractive because it shows she is grounded in her values and not swayed by temporary emotions. Men notice this strength even if they don't fully understand it. It keeps them on their toes in the best way, reminding them that love is not something to be taken for granted. They realize that being with her requires effort, intentionality, and presence. And far from being a burden, this actually makes the relationship more exciting. It keeps both people engaged, constantly making sure they are showing up for each other. In this way, her willingness to walk away actually deepens the connection because it ensures the love they share is always based on choice, not dependency. This is also why chasing a man endlessly often backfires. When a woman pours all her energy into convincing someone to stay, she gives away her power. The man feels no urgency, no need to prioritize her, because her actions tell him she will always be there no matter what. But when she has the strength to step back when she's not being valued, the dynamic shifts instantly. Suddenly, he feels the weight of her absence, the silence where her voice used to be, and the emptiness where her presence once filled his days. That's when he realizes what he's at risk of losing. The willingness to walk away also creates clarity for the woman herself. It forces her to evaluate whether the relationship truly meets her needs or if she's holding on out of habit, fear, or the illusion of potential. By being willing to leave, she makes room for something better, whether that's a better version of the same relationship or a completely new one. She refuses to waste years in a dynamic that doesn't make her feel valued because she knows her time and energy are precious. That self-awareness allows her to make decisions from a place of strength instead of desperation. When a man meets a woman like this, he understands that keeping her is not about possession. It's about partnership. She is not looking for someone to complete her, but for someone to walk beside her as an equal. This changes the way he shows up in the relationship, because he knows her presence is never guaranteed. He doesn't get complacent because he knows she can and will walk away if the relationship stops being healthy and fulfilling. That awareness keeps him motivated to give his best, and it builds a stronger, more respectful connection over time. Ultimately, a man chooses a woman like this because her strength inspires him. She challenges him to rise to her level, not through ultimatums, but through the example she sets by living in alignment with her values. Her love feels like a gift, not an obligation, and he knows that if he doesn't take care of it, someone else will. That reality makes her irreplaceable in his eyes, and it's why her confidence to walk away is the very thing that makes him want to hold on tighter than ever. A man is deeply drawn to a woman who carries an energy of mystery and growth. Not because she plays games, but because she is constantly evolving. She's the kind of woman who has layers, who can surprise him with a new story, a new skill, or a new perspective even after years of knowing her. This doesn't mean she hides who she is. It means she keeps living, learning, and expanding as a person. Her life isn't on pause, waiting for him to entertain her. She has dreams she's pursuing, friends she spends time with, and passions that light her up. That ongoing growth makes him want to lean in closer, because every time he thinks he knows everything about her, there's more to discover. This sense of mystery is not about withholding affection or creating distance just to make him chase. It's about being a full, complex person with a rich inner world. A man will quickly lose interest if everything about a woman becomes predictable, if her identity is only defined by the relationship. But when she is continually becoming a better version of herself, she brings new energy into the connection. Her excitement about life is contagious, and it draws him into her world. He finds himself curious about her thoughts, inspired by her goals, and eager to see what she'll do next. That curiosity becomes a powerful force that keeps his attention locked in. She doesn't abandon her individuality for the sake of fitting into his life. She weaves her life alongside his while still maintaining her own rhythm. This balance creates both connection and intrigue. A man respects and admires a woman who can stand on her own while still being deeply connected to him. He knows she's not there because she needs someone to fill her time. She's there because she chooses to share her already rich life with him. That choice makes him feel lucky because he's not her only source of joy, but rather a cherished part of her broader, fulfilling life. Her independence doesn't create distance. It actually deepens intimacy. When two people are whole on their own, they bring more to the relationship. They have more stories to tell, more experiences to share, and more perspectives to offer. A man wants to be inspired just as much as he wants to inspire. And when she's constantly learning, growing, and evolving, she naturally sparks that same energy in him. He wants to match her pace, not because she demands it, but because she makes self-growth look so attractive. Her ambition and curiosity become a mirror, reflecting back to him what's possible. The beauty of this dynamic is that it never feels stagnant. Relationships often lose their spark when both people stop growing, when the conversations start repeating, and when the days blend into each other. But with a woman who keeps evolving, there's always a fresh sense of excitement. They can share new adventures, explore new ideas, and dream up new possibilities together. That shared growth becomes a bonding force, because they're not just holding on to the past, they're building a future that keeps getting better. This makes him feel that choosing her is not just a choice for today, but a choice for every exciting tomorrow. Her mystery is not about being secretive. It's about being authentic and multifaceted. She's open about her feelings, but she also understands that her identity is more than just her relationship status. She may have hobbies or passions that he doesn't fully understand yet, and that's part of the intrigue. He doesn't need to know every single detail of her life immediately, because discovering her is a journey he enjoys. That gradual unveiling keeps their connection fresh, and it makes him value the privilege of knowing her on a deeper level than others do. She also knows that part of growth means embracing change, and she's not afraid to reinvent herself when needed. Whether it's trying a new career, exploring a different passion, or simply shifting her priorities, she keeps moving forward. A man is drawn to that adaptability because it shows strength and resilience. It tells him she won't crumble at the first sign of change in life, and that makes her a partner he can trust to navigate challenges alongside him. Her willingness to embrace growth ensures that their relationship won't get stuck in old patterns. It will evolve just as they do. The energy she carries is magnetic because it blends stability with excitement. He feels secure with her, knowing she's grounded in her values. Yet he also feels the thrill of unpredictability in the best way. He never feels like he's reached the end of the story. There's always another chapter to look forward to. This keeps the attraction alive long after the initial spark, because the relationship is fueled not just by chemistry, but by curiosity and shared growth. That combination makes her stand out from anyone else he's met. A man who is with a woman like this doesn't feel the need to look elsewhere, because he knows he hasn't finished discovering everything about her. She keeps him engaged emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. He's not just choosing her for who she is today. He's choosing her for the woman she will become, and for the journey of becoming that they can share together. This long-term vision is rare, and it's why he invests his time, energy, and love into her above all others. Her life is not a performance designed to keep him interested. It's simply the natural result of living fully and authentically. She doesn't need to manipulate him into staying. Her energy, growth, and passion for life do that naturally. And as he watches her continue to evolve, he realizes that being with her means never running out of reasons to love her. That realization is what makes her unforgettable and keeps him choosing her again and again over anyone else. A man will always feel a magnetic pull toward a woman who inspires him to become the best version of himself. This doesn't mean she tries to fix him or constantly tells him what to do. It's much deeper than that. She sees his potential even when he doubts himself, and she reflects back to him a version of himself that is stronger, more capable, and more confident. Her belief in him is not blind. It's grounded in what she truly sees in his character, his talents, and his drive. When a man feels that someone genuinely believes in him without judgment or agenda, it awakens something powerful inside him. It makes him want to rise, not out of obligation, but out of inspiration. That feeling can be life-changing for him. Her influence is not about criticism disguised as advice. It's about encouragement that sparks action. She doesn't point out his flaws just to make him change. She highlights his strengths and reminds him of what he's capable of when he's at his best. A man thrives in the presence of someone who supports his vision and fuels his ambition without trying to control his path. She challenges him, yes, but in a way that feels like partnership, not pressure. And that challenge keeps him from falling into complacency. He doesn't just want to impress her. He wants to become the kind of man who is worthy of her love and respect every day. This inspiration comes through her actions as much as her words. She lives with purpose herself, showing him what it looks like to pursue goals, overcome challenges, and keep growing. Her drive becomes contagious. Without even realizing it, he finds himself making better choices, pushing harder toward his dreams, and raising his standards. She doesn't need to push him. Her example is enough to shift the way he thinks and acts. This quiet influence is far more powerful than any lecture could ever be, because it comes from a place of authenticity. A woman like this also knows how to hold space for his struggles without letting him settle into them. She can be compassionate about where he is today, but she never lets him forget where he could be tomorrow. That balance of empathy and expectation is rare. It makes him feel safe to be vulnerable, while also motivating him to move forward. He feels understood, but he also feels encouraged to aim higher. And because her belief in him is genuine, her words carry weight. He listens when she speaks, not because she demands it, but because he trusts that she wants the best for him. Her presence in his life becomes a constant reminder that he is capable of more. Even in moments when he doubts himself, he can borrow her belief until he finds his own again. This is not about her taking responsibility for his success. It's about her lighting a spark that he can fan into a flame. That spark can change the entire course of his life. And as he starts achieving more, growing more, and becoming more, he begins to associate those victories with her influence. That connection deepens his emotional investment in the relationship. This kind of dynamic builds a foundation of mutual respect. He respects her for seeing the man he could be, and she respects him for putting in the effort to get there. They become a team, not just in love, but in growth. Every achievement he reaches feels like a shared victory, and every challenge they face becomes a chance to strengthen their bond. This shared journey makes him see her not only as a romantic partner, but as an irreplaceable part of his life story. It's important to note that her ability to inspire him doesn't come from sacrificing her own dreams. In fact, part of what motivates him is watching her chase her own ambitions with determination and grace. He sees her as someone who practices what she preaches, someone who is not just asking him to grow, but is committed to growing herself. This mutual pursuit of betterment keeps the relationship alive with purpose and passion. It ensures that they're not just standing still together, but moving forward side by side. He also knows that if he were to stop growing entirely, she wouldn't stay stagnant with him. She values progress, and that keeps him on his toes in the best way. Not because he fears losing her, but because he values keeping her inspired by him as much as she inspires him. This creates a healthy cycle. He grows, she grows, and together they create a life that's richer than either of them could have built alone. The relationship becomes not just a comfort zone, but a launching pad. The truth is, a man can meet many women who are supportive, but very few who truly elevate him. Support says, I'm here for you. Elevation says, I believe in who you can become, and I will walk with you as you get there. That distinction is everything. It's why some men will walk away from someone who loves them, but hold on to the woman who inspires them, because love alone is beautiful, but love that challenges and expands them is unforgettable. When a man finds a woman like this, he doesn't just see her as part of his life. He sees her as a driving force behind the man he's becoming. She's not a background presence, she's a catalyst. And because of that, he chooses her, protects that connection fiercely, and invests himself fully. He knows that the love they share is not only rare, it's transformative. And when a man finds love that transforms him, he knows it's worth choosing over everyone else, every single time.